Welcome back to Live Now from Fox and giving you a live look at our XRAD system. Now at 7:09 here on the East Coast, we are following breaking news as we are just learning from the National Hurricane Center that Category 1 Hurricane Debby made landfall near Steinhatchee, Florida. Joining us live this morning to further discuss this breaking news alert is National Hurricane Center Director Michael Brennan. Michael, good morning to you. Always a pleasure having you join us here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, good morning, Gene. Yeah, we've seen the center of Debby here. We can see on radar imagery just moving on shore in the Florida Big Bend region, making landfall near Steinhatchee. We've seen significant storm surge reports along portions of the Big Bend region of Florida, so that's going to continue. Those hurricane force winds are going to be moving inland near the core of Debby, potentially causing tree damage, power outages, some structural damage as well. But the main story is the rainfall, and you can see this huge area of rain that extends well out in advance of Debby Center, moving up into portions of northeast Florida, coastal Georgia, and that's going to be the real story that's going to play out for the next several days, as Debby is going to only move very slowly to the northeast across the southeast coast of the United States all the way through Thursday and even early Friday. So we're looking at widespread rainfall totals of 10 to 20 inches with isolated amounts as high as 30 inches in places along the South Carolina and Georgia coast. That's going to lead to a multi-day extreme rainfall flooding threat that's going to extend from the Big Bend region near where Debby made landfall this morning across Georgia tonight into tomorrow, and then spreading into South Carolina and even North Carolina as we go from Wednesday into Thursday. So again, you could see catastrophic flooding from heavy rainfall in these areas, flooding in places that you haven't ever seen it before. And again, we want people in these areas to be very careful over the next several days. Listen out for any warnings, any advice you're given by your local officials. In addition to that, we're going to see the track of Debby again move slowly near or just offshore of the coast, maintaining tropical storm strength for the next several days. So we have tropical storm warnings in effect from northeast Florida through the Georgia coastline up through Charleston. We're likely to extend those watches a little farther northeastward today. And with very, very saturated soils from that heavy rainfall, tropical storm force winds, even in gusts, can cause tree damage, power outages because of those saturated soils. And we're also got the potential for storm surge inundation of 2 to 4 feet in this area as well. So in places like Charleston, Savannah, right on the immediate coast, the combination of that storm surge and that heavy rainfall is going to create a lot of issues in terms of flooding from water, both salt water and fresh water.
Michael, for the past half hour, we've been hearing meteorologists with the Fox station saying that Debby is making landfall, but we know that the May landfall phrase isn't said until the eye of the storm officially is on land, correct? Can you explain how that works for the viewers?
Yeah, so we're looking at for landfall is when the center of the eye crosses the coastline. So, the hurricane's not a point, even the eye may be 20 or 30 miles across. So when the eye wall first comes on shore, it's still not landfall. We have those dangerous conditions moving on shore. But now that we have the center has crossed the coast, that's when we declare landfall. But again, don't want folks to think the event's over. It's really just beginning for the vast majority of people, and it's going to play out for most of this upcoming week.
Absolutely, definitely not over. And as you so eloquently put it, heading up towards Georgia and then areas of the Carolinas. We already know more than 150,000 people in the Sunshine State are without power. And then I know the term storm surge, wind gusts. Even we saw some tornado warnings out in Tampa yesterday.
Yeah, again, hurricanes have multiple hazards with them. The tornado threat is going to continue today across portions of Florida up into Georgia as the sun comes up and we get that daytime heating, especially in these outer bands. We can get those quickly forming tornadoes. Again, we want to remind people about post-storm safety when the power is out. If you're running a generator, please do so carefully and properly. We lose a lot of people to carbon monoxide poisoning after hurricanes from improper generator use. And again, once Debby does move away from this initial landfall region where there are these most widespread power outages, it's going to be hot. It's still early August in Florida, South Georgia. So be mindful of the risks of heat, especially without air conditioning, especially for folks who are vulnerable, the elderly, or anybody with health conditions. We lose, again, a lot of people to post-storm heat-related deaths as well. So just be careful. Try to find places with air conditioning, find shelters, and take care of yourself, your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, anybody who might have special needs after this type of event.
Some life-saving advice there. National Hurricane Center Director Michael Brennan, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for keeping us informed, and you be safe.
Thanks so much.